Welcome to another episode of Breaking into Cybersecurity. But today we have a special episode because we are thinking about those that have lost their lives in service of our country. And the title of today is 22 is Too Many. We're joined with Paul Cummings from the Whole Cyberhuman Initiative and the Lighthouse Project, and Omar Rezano, retired U.S. Army. Gentlemen, why don't you introduce yourself and talk a little bit about what we'll be discussing today? Paul?
The month of September, you see teal, lavender colors, spread out throughout the month, really to bring in awareness about suicide, mental health, and the struggles that we go through. Statistics stem, I can't exactly know. I don't exactly know how far back, but it's estimated that 22 of the people that lose their lives daily are veterans, service members. So I'm bringing a video that I wrote a song to, used a little bit of AI to help me bring it to life, and I wrote a music video to help bring it to its glory. And that's what I'm going to be sharing today. And then following, do some Q&A between Omar and the community about resources, outreach programs, things like that. Omar?
Thanks, Paul. Thanks, Chris. Omar Reynoso, Florida Department of Veterans Affairs, Veteran Service Officer here in the great state of Florida. And yes, I'm also retired from the Army after a total of 28 years of fun in the sun and everywhere else you could think of. But yes, I'm here to support not only, of course, veteran suicide, but also breaking cybersecurity and wiki, because I'm a strong supporter, a believer of what they do to help our population grow in this field. So happy to help and happy to be here with you guys.
So, Paul, as you were creating this song, what inspired you to do it? Like, I know you've been on your own journey yourself since you transitioned to, let's call it, civilian life, and you've had your ups and downs. And I know you've been going through a lot yourself. And did any of that kind of make you want to do this, to make you feel determined to share this message?
Really, yes. It was actually through some community outreach programs that we have through the VA on community care, where I learned about song groups, guitar lessons and stuff like that. So it intrigued me, and I started, I did a couple, and then obviously AI is, a beautiful tool now. So I put some lyrics together that, stem from my personal journal, what I've seen in the community. And then really, there was a grant pulling that started last year, $51 million towards veteran mental health. And I wanted to bring that raw emotion to it and show that there are initiatives out there that are there for you.
Well, let's talk about some of those initiatives. Or did you want to do the song first and then kind of break out there and go from there?
We have about 8 minutes before the song goes live on YouTube. So
okay. Share your journey. I mean, I know when you came out, like you struggled in finding your spot, and I'm sure that pushes your mental health to like areas of concern. I know myself, when I was laid off, it could only be a similar loss of identity that you now have to grapple and rebuild yourself. And that's a struggle for everyone. But I'm sure for individuals like yourself that have been in this culture of the military for 20 plus years, that it's a significant part of your identity. So the loss is even greater.
It is when you consider that, correct me if I'm wrong, Omar, roughly 3% of the U.S. population has signed up. We're a very small demographic. And when you look at the veterans that get out, that's another small demographic. For me, I was retiring after 20 years as being IT. I stood up a cyber protection team, and I'm going through a transition class, and I'm listening to people tell me that I'm gonna have to start over from scratch. Everything that I know now, you're gonna have to learn all over again. And that's really what struggled, that led me to ultimately find Best Industry, to which I volunteered with. And through them, I learned that, you don't have to start from scratch. There are those translatable soft skills and even hard skills that otherwise you wouldn't be able to, to train somebody starting new. And then really it was when I met you that I honed it down even further, because you know what you want to do, but there's still that metrics of, do I come off overqualified, underqualified? Found out through, doing some interviews for free through Canderful. They offer 3 mock interviews for free for veterans, that we come off robotic. We do of the quarter boards, which is essentially an interview throughout the military, right? But it's a one-way conversation. You have to have that most correct answer at that time, and there is no conversation after. You just move to the next. So it's relearning that, hey, I can have a conversation with somebody. Through V2I, I started noticing that more than half of the people that were showing up to networking events wanted to get into tech. They've never done tech, or they were already in tech. And I was just hearing, between some advice, while it wasn't bad, but it was not really targeted, appropriately for their skill level. But you would see the, go just go get this cert and you'll be good, right? You got a clearance, just go get Sec Plus. You still got to know it. And I started seeing people get preyed upon on some, 5-10 day boot camps, that they would come back to me and like, hey, I learned how to take a test. I passed the test, but how do I get the experience to do this that I need? To really put this cert to power. And it was around October. It was in October. If I recall, October 24th, around 11:30 at night, I got a phone call from a nonprofit lawyer, and she said, "Hey, I have a veteran I need you to talk to." And I'm already thinking it's 11:30 at night, so I can only imagine what this conversation turns into. And it led with, he was a Marine veteran. He got approached on LinkedIn during COVID. He got a nice little, hey, we have a Hispanic discount for COVID. We have a lot of grant money, this, that, or the other, and got him in. And then as he was doing an intake, they found out he was a veteran. And by then they were saying he didn't have to pay anything. So I'd read this letter that he had sent me while he was telling me his story. And on the very bottom line, this company wanted 15% of his first year salary once he got hired. That's not even considering the other, 28% tax that Uncle Sam's already doing against it. And it was really that night that I think I put roughly, what, Chris, 27 people together in a LinkedIn group. Started off as I wanted to be a steering committee to, if Department of is sending somebody, a group of soldiers, Joes, sailors, airmen to a boot camp, pay for an extra seat and one of us on this advisory panel or steering committee is going to go sit it, and we're going to tell you exactly what they learned. But it felt a little bit better and more powerful that we start a nonprofit. The amount of free resources out there is just ridiculous. Filed as a workforce development resource organization. Our primary goal is creating curriculum, and we are exceeding the bar. We've had graduates that, we're 10 of 11. We don't have a lot of graduates because they learn a lot of skills and then they know exactly what roles they want and they get hired. It's magic when you do a little soul searching, right? But last year, we amped it up. We got the curriculum up to 360 hours, all complimentary. Comes with a myriad of, hard skills, soft skills with some hands-on toolings. And it's a security engineer pathway that we certified, saying, hey, upon completion of 360 hours, we're certifying that body of knowledge is security engineer based. And that's what really stemmed. And it's really the veterans that keep driving me on a daily basis, and why, I really feel like pouring my soul into a song that, we got probably less than a minute that's going to start.
I can see there, it really has you emotional, and I can only imagine what you're feeling. Looking forward to seeing this. Are you able to get your screen shared so that we can share it?
I am. I'm getting it ready right now, actually.
And we're looking forward to talking to Omar after the song, but it's gonna be really interesting.
It's supposed to be already playing. Come back. I'll open up the raw video for it.
It was playing, I just didn't hear any words. Oh, Paul's on mute. Sorry, folks, for technical difficulties. Paul, we can't hear you. You're on mute.
Said ITs with computer problems. Go figure.
Yeah, it's always something.
hear you, audio.
In the silence of a crowded room, a soldier battles shadows impending gloom. Marching on a road that's rough, where brave hearts find the world too tough. 22 is 22 too many, fighting wars that don't earn a penny. Lift your voice, break the chain, you're not alone in this pain. Step away from the screens that blind, reconnect with the world, peace you'll find. Let the sorrows of news drift away, in nature's arms let your spirit sway. Together we stand, together we fall. A band of brothers, sisters answering the call. Hand in hand, we'll mend each crack. In unity, there's nothing we lack. Too many, fighting wars that don't earn a penny. Lift your voice, break the chain, you're not alone in this pain. Step away from the screens that blind, reconnect with the world, peace you'll find. Let the sorrows of news drift away, in nature's arms let your spirit sway. Together we stand, together we fall. A band of brothers, sisters answering the call. Oh, hand in hand, we'll mend each crack. In unity, there's nothing we lack. Together we stand, together we fall. A band that we fall, a band away from the darkest night. 22 is 22 too many, but today we fight. Turn your face to the dawn's new light. Together in the struggle, together we might find a way through the darkest night. 22 is 22 too many, but today we fight. But today we fight.
Wow, that was powerful. I had goosebumps.
It's getting better. I mean, numbers don't lie, but when you consider we have less people enlisting and that number is still right around the same, we're not hitting it.
Yeah. Can you share the link for that video for others to view it after in the private chat? That way I can also share it on my side. But with that, I think this is one of the reasons we brought on Omar. Omar, what are some of the resources that on a daily basis you you help the community with accessing, and what are some of the best ways that they can try to get some help and get to the right place?
For veterans, it's really there's plenty of options. Of course, the number one go-to, yes, it's the va.gov website, or go to mentalhealth.va.gov suicide prevention. And we all know the two numbers, of course, 988, then press 1. That's the general number for suicide. Of course, if also, of course, 911 is the other one. But when it comes to different tools other than using the VA, there's plenty of organization. You have the Vet Center, which it is primarily used as an outlet apart from the VA, but can also be utilized for this kind of situation, because you're not alone in this journey. That's the one thing, is that when transition out of the military, it's hard. It's a different mindset. You've got to switch in your mind. You're so focused on, hey, I've done X amount of years in the military, and now I'm out of the service. Okay. You lose that identity of what you did in the military, because for years, or even whether it's be, a stint of 4 years or a career in the military, once you're done, you figure out, like, okay, who am I? That was me back in the military, but who am I now going forward? And that's one of the biggest issues with many people in transition. They're like, who am I? I don't know what I want to be, or I don't know who I want to be when I grow up. That's what we always say. But when you look at that, there's plenty of tools out there. There's plenty of brothers and sisters out there to help you, to guide you, to talk to you. Yes, there is Vets to Industry. Yes, there's Leader Transition Institute, 4Block, the Honor Foundation, the Commit Foundation. Let's see. Of course, you got American Corporate Partners. You got plenty of organizations out there to support you through the process. Now, and including, of course, you have breaking into cybersecurity, whole cyber human initiative here to help you in the cyber realm, as well as we have Act Now Education, offering free courses to leadership, to HR, whatever the case may be. There's the free tools available for us. The problem is that you get so inundated of what you got going on in your life that you start to drown. And it's when you start to drown, you don't know where to turn or who can you reach out. Because honestly, when you're out of the service, yeah, you head back in uniform, yeah, those people are continue on driving on. The way I've always looked at it is, especially for the Army, it's a paragraph and line number. When I'm done with my time in the service, that paragraph and line number is going to get filled right after me. And the Army keeps rolling along. Yes. And so now that I'm no longer part of that, identity is with me. Who am I? For me, to serve others, so to others we can make a difference. That's me. I do that wholeheartedly for everything that I do, with family, friends, veterans alike, even people I don't know. They come in and talk to me, and I'm always happy to help. And even if it's not something with the military, whatever the case may be, I'm always helping to help give them that information. And of course, like I said, yes, I know I posted about mental health on the VA, but of course, you're local. What do you have local? Here in Florida, it just depends. Are you trying to get resources for, jobs? Are you trying to get, personal? I need some help, with, I can't figure out my finances, because you no longer have that paycheck from the military. There are organizations that can help you with that, to help you when you're so lost. Raise that hand, say, hey, I need help. Don't be afraid. That's the number one thing. I can tell you from my own experience, I identified myself who I was and what I was doing, but I had so much stuff in here that wasn't fixed right, and I was drowning. And it wasn't until they said, hey, buddy, I said, you're screwed up. And, the family said, you're screwed up. You need to get help. And it wasn't until then that the light bulb flicked. Okay, all right, I need to go get help. I got help. I started to float. I was no longer drowning. I was floating, doggy paddling, getting to the top. And then I got more help. And once that was done, now I'm not only able, I can swim now. So don't be afraid. By all means, that's what we're here for. If you need more resources, let me know. What are you trying to need? What do you need? Always reach out to your brothers and sisters. They're always out here to help out. That's the beautiful part about being a veteran. You don't have to be afraid. Raise the hand. If like say, if I don't have the answer, one of these two gentlemen have the answer. If they don't have the answer, we'll find somebody else that has the answer. Remember, the thing is, you can't give up. You just got to raise that hand and say, I need help.
And for those that are afraid to ask, like I know, for example, when I was laid off, like asking for unemployment was something that like I felt ashamed to ask for. But I've been paying into it for years. So finally I got over that shame and I applied for it because I had my own company I was denied, but hey, I applied for it. Like it's there. Ask for it. Ask for help if you don't get it. Like others can support you in refiling and supporting yourself. So go out there and ask for it. Don't be afraid. Paul's gonna continue sharing the links, and I'm gonna continue to share them out. Paul, can you share the link to the video so that we can share that out as well?
Yes.
And then, Paul, how did you meet up with Omar? I hear a great story there coming.
Oof. I met Omar through Vest Industry. Vest Industry seemed, you got Vest Industry and the Key are really good places to find your tribe. You're going to know who you click with, who, hey, I want to follow that person. They had the same kind of jive I have. I was helping a lot of people with mentorship around, getting into IT and cyber. Omar comes from a background in the IC community, and he was running into issues as well because we use a lot of government off the shelf. So we can't really explain to, commercial or anything like that what we're using when it's really the same thing. It's just a Frankenstein version of it. Then he became a volunteer of, content provider or content curator for our Facebook and our LinkedIn, and he's been going at it ever since. When I found out that he went over to VSO side, he found his calling.
Omar, like what drives you to do this? Because this is up and above your day-to-day mission. Like what drives you to keep on giving out and continue supporting many others up above and beyond like what you have to do for yourself?
It's really easy, man. Part of what I've lost, because I've lost many friends, mainly of course due to the war on terror. But early on in my career, I lost one kid. I remember that was his name. No, it's not a kid. It was PFC Rock. It was an E3. Young kid, bright future. You're full of life. But he got, they were out, all the guys were out drinking, having a good time, and they were out in the woods, four-wheeling in their vehicles. And unfortunately, he was not wearing a seatbelt. So he flew out the windshield and died almost instantly. And so and I was at the time I was leaving the unit, so I was kind of shocked, and I didn't really know how it would affect me. And then, of course, I went off to Europe, and I was stationed in Italy, and I lost one of my own medics. Jumping into Kosovo. It was a sad experience, But when we lost Jason Pringle, it hit us all because we were such a tight community of men, young men. We hung out together, we worked together, we did everything together. Work hard, play hard, and I remember it was what hits me most about that one is that I saw him hours before it happened. And I was coming in from a night of having fun, and he's getting ready to take off. And it's like, hey, man, have a good one. I'll see you when you get back. And that was the last time I saw him. So I was like, I didn't know till years later how that would affect me mentally and emotionally. And that's part of what helped me to also go forward. And then, no kidding, right before I left Europe, we actually had a kid commit suicide. And so as a medic, a former combat medic at the time, me and my roommate, we did our best to save this kid. And I was so exhausted because I did not quit trying to save this kid's life until the paramedics came. And that did not know until years later how that will affect me. That's what I'm saying. All these things, and that's with anybody. Anything that you experience in the military, you don't know how it affects you unless you go find out, talk to somebody. So that's one thing I could say. Go talk. Go get some help. There's resources, information. If you can't find it, let me know. Let us know they're there for us. And that's kind of why also I'm here, because I believe in this. I believe that that it can help you if you allow it to let it help you. Don't drown yourself. Go get the help or ask for the help so that you can live life and enjoy it to the fullest extent. Because if you just keep getting inundated with so much stuff over you, you're going to eventually drown. You're going to feel, what's the point? What do I got to do? Why am I here? Well, point is, you matter. We all matter. We do something in this life that matters, not just to those around us, but to our loved ones, our friends, family. You never know who you're going to make an effect to, an impact. You believe it or not, by what you do, you're impacting those around you, whether you know it or not. The kids see it, family sees it, coworkers see it. It just depends on you to say, you know what? I do matter, and I need to get the help I need.
Wow. Paul, any final words before we wrap up today?
Just a reminder, as you're getting out, you no longer have to compartmentalize anything, right? There's resources out there. If you're looking into, trying to get into cyber career or IT career, we posted some of our links to Boots to Cyber, the Diane Initiative, VetSec. There's communities out there where you can find your tribe, find where you belong, right? And they all have nothing but love for you. Don't be scared to reach out.
Well, thank you so much. I'm sharing all the links in all the places, and I will also compile them into the show notes. Thank you for being brave and sharing your story. It takes courage to share your story, whether you believe it or not, because it could help influence and drive someone else. So with that, thanks all. And Paul, thank you for creating that video and for sharing that message with everyone. Have a good rest of your day, everyone. Thanks.